Hey, what's up, everybody? Brooke here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Happy Wednesday. It's July 17th, 2024, and this is my first official video. I did post a video, I think yesterday, of my interview that I did with my local News 12 station here on Long Island, and I think they put proprietary type of things on it so you can't record it, but it has clicking noises and stuff. Hopefully you guys can get through it. I forgot to put the actual link to the interview in the description, so I'll do that after I upload this video. But pretty much this video, I just really wanted to talk really quick about why I decided to become a plumber. And since this is the first video on this channel, if you guys want, you can leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will do my best to address any questions that you have in either a short or do another video. But I'm really looking to connect with people. I really like meeting people, whether they're in the trades or they were in the trades, they're retired, maybe they're in some other type of field, but they're interested in skilled labor, all that stuff. So that's why I'm making this channel. Not so much to be like a rah-rah, oh, chicks in the trades, more or less just to connect with people. Because I don't give a damn if you're a woman or a man. If you're someone that's good with their hands, if they have a skill set, it's always good to read comments and just kind of bounce ideas off of people and stuff like that. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to jump into the video. So I have a whole story, just like everybody else, as to why I got into the trades. Super, super quick. I was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder and Tourette syndrome when I was 12 years old, and I wasn't able to stay in a public school setting. So I was moved to a vocational school, which is a BOCES here on Long Island in New York, and it's a special ed program. So I was in one school, and then I got kicked out of that school for fighting, whatever. But I got kicked out of that school. I went to another school, and it was half-day education, half-day a career center. And I remember when I was going into this program, I went into the school in October, and by that time, obviously, a lot of the classes that I would have taken were full, and there was welding and cosmetology left. And I remember I was sitting down with the guidance counselor, and I was 14, and she was like, oh, well, we're just going to put you in cosmetology. And I was like, I don't think I want to go in cosmetology. What's welding? Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. And as soon as she said that, my, rebellious teenage brain was like, oh, I'm going into welding. And then she tried to talk me out of it for probably 10 minutes. And I was like, no, I'm going to go into welding. So fast forward couple years, I became a great TIG welder, pat myself on the back, aluminum TIG welder to be exact. But I was doing that. I competed in that. I didn't ever place. I competed in this competition called Skills USA. So I was welding for a couple of years. It was just a cool experience, that event. But I was welding for a couple of years, and then I got pregnant with my oldest daughter. And then I started a business that was unrelated to the trades. So for 10 years, I raised my 3 daughters and ran this business. And then when I was done with the business, I wanted to get back into the trades. Towards the end of me getting rid of my business, selling it off, I really wanted to get back into the trades. People would always ask oh, you do this, you do this. Whatever happened to welding? Whatever happened to this? And I remember I was always I'm going to go back to that. So I believe I was 29, maybe 29, turning 30. And I started to work at this small machine shop, which I'm still very close with the owner. He's actually closing it now. He's in his 80s. But I went back into the machine shop, and it was a backwoods machine shop, but I learned so much from this place. And I was TIG welding, I was stick welding, and we were working on big dozers, big buckets, reskinning buckets. TIG welding would be a lot of things that would come in for boats, predominantly aluminum we would do. And it wasn't it wasn't clean shop, super backwoods, saw crazy stuff at this shop. That's a whole other story time. But anyway, make a long story short, I was working with a gentleman who is active in the plumbers union. And he was telling me, he's listen, it's you really this is a dead end job. Even though I love my boss, I loved everybody that worked there. He's it's a dead end job. You really want to have some kind of stability. He's I'm in the plumbers union, and I think it would be a good fit for you. They have welders, you do work, but you make great money, whatever. And I remember thinking, I was I can't be a friggin' plumber. Why would I be a plumber? Which is funny because ironically, the business that I started, I ran a diaper service. I did little plumbing things, that I didn't even realize, I guess, technically was plumbing. But I remember thinking, I was let me just give it a shot. If they need welders, I can come in there and at least look at insurance and things like that. So I did that. And then I remember I had my interview, and what a friggin' hot mess. But I had good credentials behind me. So I got accepted, and I got the approval letter. I went to the plumbers local, and I also went to Local 138, which is a heavy operating machine union. And I wasn't really crazy about that. So when I got the call from them, I passed and went to the plumbers union because I heard from them first. So anyway, I jumped into the trade, and I remember it was such a humbling experience. The first year was very humbling. Plumbing is not, it's just such a different beast. It is not for the faint of heart. I know a lot of people like that I talk to that are plumbers are like, oh, it's easy and this, that, and a third. But when you're a woman and you're coming from a background that like you ran your own business, you have kids, and I know some people will be like, oh, whatever. Listen, men and women are different. They're different. They're very different. You know, women are a lot more softer, generally speaking, than men are. So like even the way that I handle problems is very different than the way these men handle problems on the job site. But I remember my first job, like they pretty much, my first job was okay. It was with was one foreman, but they really ran me ragged. Like they really, it was like, I felt like I was being hazed. You know what I'm saying? But I just kept with it. I put my head down. I had my girls in my head. I was like, I want to have like, I want to have something for them. I want to do something for them. And I want to see how far I can go with this. So as I started to do plumbing, I started to learn more. I started to learn how vast the industry is, how big it is. And it's not just, swapping out toilet, flanges and like, doing finish work and, whatever, like sinks and all this other stuff. There's medical gas. There's, we have sewage treatment plants. There's so much that's involved with plumbing. And I just found it to be like a very interesting industry, in my opinion. There's so much to learn. Like even now I'm on my 4th year apprenticeship. I'm starting my 5th year for schooling in September. So I'm almost at my 4th year hours, which is like kind of confusing. I actually have to do my hours, but yeah, I'll be 4th year and then I'll be starting 5th year. So like I'm behind on my work hours because when I got into the union, I was still working for the machine shop, and my boss like begged me to stay, and I felt bad, and I was like, listen, I'll give you like another 3 months. So I didn't start actually working in the trade until like 3-4 months. But it was a very humbling experience, but I have to say I'm really happy that I chose plumbing. And I know it's like 7 minutes in, but I just kind of want to give you a background of why I got into it. That's like a super cursory overview. Of course, there's a lot more, to this story, but I wanted to kind of keep it as short as possible. So when it comes to why I decided to get actually into plumbing and what made it like a lucrative career for me, or attractive to me rather, is because there's a couple reasons. So the first reason is that everyone needs a plumber. Everybody needs a plumber. Not everyone needs an aluminum TIG welder. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing is it's need. It's, being able to travel with the skill set, learning a skill set that nobody can take from you. It's not like I'm renting the skill set. It's not like I have to give it back to the company when I leave. Like it's my skill set. I can take that and go anywhere I want in the world with this skill set. So I always say Costa Rica because eventually I want to move to Costa Rica and just live off the grid, especially with the way everything's going in society. But, I just want a simple life, and I want to move to Costa Rica and change my name. But anyway, so I always say, I was like, I could take plumbing skills and move there, or move anywhere, Guam, or even maybe California. Well, not California, but move to maybe Texas or Wyoming or whatever. Like I can just take this skill set, start my own company, go and transfer my union card, whatever. There's just a lot of opportunity because plumbers are needed everywhere. Another reason is the money, honey. Biggest reason, truthfully, like next to the flexibility and learning a skill set is the money. I mean, you make bank. Even as like an apprentice now, I make great money. Like I make more money now than I did when I was, doing the machine shop. And not obviously my running a business was different, but I'm saying as far as like working for someone, like I make great money, and I'm really happy with it. And then once I get my pay upgrade for 4th year, it's gonna be even more. You know what I'm saying? It's just you keep increasing your skill set, becoming more valuable and in the workplace, and being able to, command those raises. And one thing I like about, being in a union is that you're guaranteed, with the apprenticeship, you're guaranteed pay increases, So there's a whole union versus non-union thing. That's another video. I think they're both very important, and I don't think there should be one without the other type thing. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But so that's another reason. So learning a skill set, the money, honey. And then I have to say, just the variety of work that's available within the plumbing field, everything's different. You're doing something different every single day. So it's not like I'm checking into an office or I'm clocking in and I'm clocking out and it's kind of like Groundhog's Day, office space every single day. Like it's not like that. When I go on the job site, unless I'm working on, like, let's say like I'm doing domestic waters or we're doing flanges or we're drilling, whatever, like it always changes. Everything gets mixed up. We're always doing different things. And one thing that I really like about plumbing that some people have a problem with, not the intense labor part, because trust me, like, I know some people will look at me and they'd be like, oh, well, you're a chick and how much labor are you really doing? I am busting my ass, okay? Like, I remember at my last job, I probably drilled like 80 holes. We had a freaking, it was a whole thing. They poured too thick of cement. They screwed up. So in order to do the flanges, we need to have, and I'm still learning, so I don't know like the terminology and stuff 100%, but in order to have the toilet sit appropriately, we had to drill out the front. So I was literally drilling with this, they use like very thick, insane concrete. I'm literally putting my whole soul into this, core drilling, like busting my ass, right? But I like it because even though like sometimes it's really hard labor, sometimes it's not, you're moving your body, you're getting up, you're moving, you're stretching, you're doing things. You're not always sitting down. And it's funny because I actually get massages often because I'm part of, I'm sorry, I have to put my light. I don't like how that looks. I get massages often. And one thing that my massage therapist tells me, hold on one second, guys, sorry, it's like so not, just a plumber. One thing that my massage therapist tells me all the time is that, because I drive a lot, sometimes I get like a pain, like right above my backside. And she says, she's like, yours is very mild. She's like, but I see people that are sitting in desks all day that literally like, they're so tense. They're so tense there. They don't move. They're not working out. They're getting home from work and then they're going to sleep, or they're getting home and they're just sitting down on the couch, scrolling freaking Instagram. It's like, so at least with plumbing, it's like you're working, you're moving. You just got to take care of your body, and that's for another video. But anyway, I just love that there's different things you can do. And aside from even just different tasks that you can do, there's different areas of plumbing that you can work in. You can work in medical gas and be squeaky clean. You know what I'm saying? You can work in operating rooms. You could work in, the sewage treatment plants, which is a totally different beast. You can work in the office. You can, make plans as long as AI doesn't take over, drawing yet. You can do CAD plans. You can do, become a project manager. You can become a foreman. You can do so many things. You can be an estimator. I mean, there's so many different opportunities available when you're in plumbing. It's just a lot. There's just a lot. So I really love that there is room for growth. That was a big thing too. I was like, I can't just be like stagnant. Like what happened at the machine shop was I was their welder. The office girl quit. I became their office person because I had a business. So I know what it was like to run the company. I know customer service. I know like light bookkeeping, things like that. Bill keeping, bill collecting. I mean, I was just doing all that, you know what I mean? And I knew like there was only so much I could go, and I knew I couldn't buy the machine shop because manual machining is just such a different beast. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over that. I mean, there's so many reasons why, even just meeting the people, just the connections with the people that you meet, especially when you're in a union, like because it's like contracted work. A lot of times, like you're on different job sites, just like a regular plumber, right? But the people that you meet, like from these different contractors, it's just building connections. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, and even like different trades, and it's just really cool. It's like there should be like its own sitcom. Honestly, there's so much drama. The reality show that would be within the trades is hilarious. It would be hilarious. I mean, you should see the things that I see on the job site. And I know for those of you who are watching are probably tradesmen and women yourselves, so you guys get it. But like the things that I see on the job site are so comical. I mean, I'm literally like, I can't even. Like I took video of this one guy that I was working with my last job, who was just like, he would just stir the pot with everything. He was hilarious, but like he had this like wild side, so he'd be arguing with everyone, just like funny, like not even like aggressive like fights, just funny fights. Like just people are so funny. I mean, really, like plumbers are hilarious. Plumbers are hilarious. There's one guy I work with screaming at everyone on the job because the elevator guy wasn't there on time, and there was like a new elevator guy that was like taking over for the old one, and he's like, plumbers are the most important trade on the job. And then this electrician was like 2 floors up, and he starts screaming, and they're fighting, and I'm just recording. It's just funny. It's just funny. It's just like, it's just so much drama. But anyway, it's just different. Everything's different. And, you know, plumbing is a skill set that's not going away. It can't be duplicated, you know, by a friggin' Siri. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, hey, Alexa, you know, unclog my friggin' faucet, unclog my toilet, unclog my sink, you know, switch out this, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, switch out this toilet flange. Like, you can't do that. Like, we're still very much valuable. We're very, very valuable here in the trades. Electricians as well, welders. I've seen automatic welders like weld inside of like a boring, like when you bore tubing, like that's a machinist thing, and like they'll set up like this welder that'll weld on the inside, but still that's very like technical. Sorry to say like so much. That's super, super, super like not something that's common. I only see the automatic welder maybe 5 times out of working there for years. But welders are very valuable, HVAC technicians, and plumbing also leads into other things too. Like plumbing leads into like HVAC, even some mechanical work. You know, when you're working with hydraulic hoses and pistons and things like that. It's you know, when I repacked cylinders. You know, like not that it was the same as plumbing, but it's just when you have one skill set, you can kind of bleed into other skill sets. Like they kind of overlap each other. It's just great. It envelopes each other, and like even for welding. You know, there were things that I learned welding that I also took with plumbing. You know, like maybe not using a caliper because nobody uses a caliper in plumbing, but using a ruler, you know, when I would prefab, like doing things like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a lot. This is kind of like a rough video. It's like my rough intro. I'm sorry for the quality of the video, but I hope you guys got something out of this, and please do share your own story. Like I said, I'm really looking to connect. I don't do YouTube for money. I work for my money. I'm a plumber for my money. You know what I'm saying? So I make good money, but I just really like to connect with people. With my last business, I had a podcast. So I had like weekly episodes that I would just be talking to people, and we had Facebook, and you know, that was a whole other life for me. But I really, you know, I really enjoy just connecting with others and seeing what's going on in your neck of the woods. So I'll check you guys back on the next video. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for watching.